Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Chris Perron here at Perron Chiropractic in Reston, Virginia, just a few minutes outside of Washington, D.C. And in this episode of our learning series, I'm going to discuss with you sciatica. Sciatica, it's a term we've all heard of, and honestly, it's a bit overused, but it's just a technicality. If you've got pain in your butt and you got pain shooting down your leg, who cares what it calls? It hurts, right? You just want to get it fixed. Now, classic sciatica, just to fill you in on the technicalities of it all, the sciatic nerve is a nerve about as big as your index finger. Yes, it's a doozy. It's about the biggest one in your body, and it stems from your low back all the way through your butt and down the back of your leg. And when that puppy gets lit up, it yells loud. Why? Because it's big and it yells loud. Well, there's a lot of ways that a sciatic nerve can get pinched along that pathway. The one that's given all the attention, and you go for the MRIs and all that, which is a very valid thing to look at, and we certainly look at too, is a disc problem or stenosis you might have been told you have and things like that. Well, that is only one of the ways that a sciatic nerve can get pinched. It can also get pinched as it passes through the pelvis, as it passes out the bottom of your pelvis, your bottom literally, into your leg. There's different places where it can get a little pinch along the way and just, again, light things up with the exact same pattern, regardless of where it's being pinched in those upper few places. Now, if it is at the spine, we definitely evaluate that as well. And by getting the spine lined up correctly, as well as your pelvis, as well as basically your entire leg, your entire body, the vast majority of the time, that is the solution to solving sciatica. Why? Sciatica is just a label for the end result. It's a label for the effect. Your pain is not your issue, even though it feels like it in the moment, and certainly it can be debilitating. But what causes the pain is really what the target is, and that's what we need to go after. So even if you have a herniated disc, even if you have a bulging disc, even if you have degeneration, even if you have bone on bone, you've been told all these terms. Before you do anything extreme that you can't go backwards on, surgery, come on in, get a check. What do you have to lose? You have nothing to lose. And what we do here is not going to make your situation worse as far as harming any of those things. If they're too shot to fix, well, then we're going to find that out too. But almost all the time they aren't. Even the amount of wear and tear that's in there, not ignoring that, not saying that's not true. But if you have wear and tear in your joint, it's like a hole that your nerves are coming out of, sciatic nerve included, like a horseshoe top, horseshoe bottom from two vertebrae. Now, if you have degeneration and the walls are closing in and that's part of the pinch, or discs are pinching in and that's part of the pinch, all that's very real. Now, what if you also throw in there a little bit of a twist? Doesn't that close down the walls a little as well? Well, that's the piece that we very much have influence over, where we can get things maximized. We will make sure that things are lined up so you have the maximum amount of space that you can have. And when we do that, again, most of the time, there's enough space there. Now let's get into just quickly, how does one end up with disc problems or wear and tear, degeneration, bone spurs, all that stuff? Well, that all comes from having your joints misaligned over a long period of time, meaning years. And so if you have that wear and tear, there's your sign that you have misaligned joints, because joints don't wear out just for kicks. They wear out when they're lined up incorrectly and they're rubbing on each other incorrectly. And that grind is what creates these end results with the wear and tear. So even if you have some wear and tear, getting them straightened up is super important. And let's say worst case scenario, let's say somebody does need surgery, because yes, that is in play. We refer people for surgery every once in a while. It's literally once a year maybe though, because this does work that well. We want to make sure that your joints are lined up, because all the surgery is going to do is clean up that one joint. Well, if that one joint's that beat up, I promise you the joints above and below it are also along for the ride, and they're not going to be set up right either. So making sure that you are at your best, that everything is lined up as best as it can be, will accomplish two things. One, you'll find out whether you even need surgery. Two, and most of the time you don't. And two, even if you do, which is rare, but even if you do, by making sure that the rest is all lined up, you're decreasing your chances drastically of down the road further, now that next joint getting to the point where now it needs surgery, and so on and so on and so on. So it's always worth it to take a look. It's a really easy process for us to be able to just take a couple minutes and evaluate and see what you have going on. It usually only takes a couple weeks at most to find out what kind of potential you might have as far as seeing results in your particular situation as we go through treatment. So it's not long drawn out. We aren't chasing wild geese and just hope, hope, hope. It's a very black and white analysis to see what we can contribute and what we can't. So we can get very clear answers for you as to what we can and cannot do. But most of the time we can do a whole lot for you. But you are your own individual and you have your own individual situation. So please give us a call, send us an email. We're happy to discuss your case with you. If you found this helpful, please hit the like button as well as subscribe and find out about what other conditions we might be able to help with. And again, I'm Dr. Chris Perron and I look forward to meeting you.